Here we are again. It is on a Saturday. We're approaching probably 65 degrees. Finally, I think the winter in Mobile, Alabama is over. The month of January, I guess, has been our cold month for the winter. But luckily we have winters in lower Alabama, as much as I guess the summers are up in New Jersey and Maine. And that's one of the reasons why I live here. I don't do very well in the cold, but I certainly do love the weather we get here for the rest of the year. So anyways, we are here at Muddy Creek in actually Theodore, Alabama. This is a water management area that has been set aside by the, I believe it was the Alabama Port Authority. So this is about a 2.3 mile hike. It's a loop. The last time I was here about a year ago, it was about this time, and I didn't even make it halfway through the hike before we just got a torrential rainstorm, and I got a good wetting on that one. So this is the first time, it's been, I say, over a year that I've come back to Muddy Creek, and I think I picked probably one of the best days to do it in. It is just absolutely phenomenal. I was supposed to reach maybe 70 degrees today. We've got hardly a cloud in the sky, so we've got rich greens, we've got rich blue skies, and I'm looking around and looks like we've got quite a few birds flying around here. I've seen some red-breasted woodpeckers and various finches. But, you know, hopefully we might get lucky and shoot some of those. But the main goal today is to get a good walk in and just take advantage of anything that possibly comes up. So onward we go. So this is where we come to the trailhead of Muddy Creek. So swing this around here, and you can see that there is a short branch that goes that way. I have never gone that way. We may actually explore that. I believe it's more of a like an access road, because the actual industrial parkway is right out there, right from the parking lot. But anyways, the trail, you usually start the trail this way, and then the trail actually comes back through this way, which completes the loop. So we will start I think we're going to go actually the back way. Normally people start this way, and the boardwalk that I actually want to try to do some photographs on, it's a longer one with no rails, and it's actually on the back end of the park. So I think that's our plan of attack, and I'm looking for an enjoyable day today. So it's been over a year since I've come back here after the last attempt to record this trail. But as we've seen with several other trails along the Alabama area, the lower Alabama area, Mobile, Spanish Fort, here in Theodore, we had several storms from the past couple of years which damaged a lot of the trees in the area. But we are very fortunate to have a very active maintenance that is always done on these trails to keep them clear and open to the public. And as you can see with this tree here, it literally either got lucky as it came down along the path, but I've seen other trees that have come down on the path, and within a short time, when I've come back to revisit these trails, they have been cut up and moved to the side, or the debris itself has been removed right from the trails. So right from the trailhead we wind up here. This is the start of the loop itself. A lot of times I'll start the loop here. This goes to this first boardwalk that we see right here. It is a nice little boardwalk that goes out to Beaver Pond itself with a nice overlook. I'm going to actually take the trail to the back way because what I'm looking for is this Beaver Pond, and there's a railing here that it seems like it has a little bit more water. I don't know if you can hear that, but there are definitely some busy woodpeckers here today. So anyways, we're going to start the trail this way. So basically we are right here, and we're going to take the loop around the back way. And here we go. So, man, I can't tell you how beautiful today is. I wish I could have a lifetime days like today. And usually, coming down this trail here, there's a lot of brush that was, closed in with this back trail here, but it looks like they have really cut it back. It's pretty open. I like having the open trail because you never know when you're going to have one of nature's slitherers out on the trail, especially since it's been so cold and they want to sun themselves. And I don't mind that because I like to photograph them, whether they're non-venomous or venomous. I respect them and give them their way. Most of the hikes I do are day hikes, so far, with my photography. But with the issues that I've had with my back, I found that the trekking pole does give me the support, when I'm going up and down some inclines. But for my purposes, I find more I use it as like a probing stick. I'm always worried about coming across a snake, or mostly I guess you could say snakes. So if I go off trail, when I see something I want to shoot, I will use the trekking pole where I can probe around just to make sure that nothing is out sunning itself, especially now that we're coming out of the winter months. I know that we get a lot of our common snakes around here, which we don't have we only have a very few venomous snakes. We've got, your copperhead, we've got the water moccasin, probably they would be the most venomous, but most of the other ones are king snakes, rat snakes, garter snakes, that type of thing. But I still respect them all. So a trekking pole is a good way to, probe around the ground if I go off trail, because sometimes it's a lot of brush. But the question I want to ask, I've seen this posted on YouTube and some other forums that I've read, is with people using trekking poles, do you just keep with the carbide tip, or do you put the rubber tip on it? The reason I ask, because on my trekking pole, I pretty much always keep the rubber tip on there, and I've always gone with the philosophy of tread lightly, and leave no evidence. And what people are saying when you're using that carbide tip, that when you're trekking, that is basically leaving holes, and when you're doing it, it's not anything. But when you've got hundreds of people that may be using trekking poles with just the carbide tip, it's leaving holes in the ground, so it actually does do some wear and tear on the trail. So I don't have any problem with having the rubber tip on it. I could see where you have a need for a carbide tip when you've got to get the extra traction, but for whether I'm on sand or if I'm on a compact path, like this path here, let's see, I don't know if you can see that. It's sometimes it is covered with leaves, but you can see this is basically like a hard pan. Some areas it's muddy, but with the rubber tip, I've never had any issues covering any area I needed with the pole. And like I said, it's not destructive to the trail. And I know a carbide tip on a hiking stick or a trekking pole leaves a very little hole, but it's just again, over time it can, I guess, when got lots and lots of people that are using it. Now I'm not sure how many actually people are using trekking poles on a lot of the hikes that I take. I just don't have a problem having the rubber tip on it. So anyways, comment below what do you think about that. I was coming down the path here, and now we're getting to the point to where Muddy Creek itself, which starts well down there, and the path is right here, and it is basically paralleling it for probably a good half mile on the trail that's continuing on this way. We go up onto the first boardwalk there that will take us to the back part, to where we will get to huge Beaver Pond, if there's any water into it. The last couple times I've been there, it's been pretty dry. So, but as I was walking down the path, I did hear some rustling in the on the other side of the creek here, in the forested area out there. So I decided it'd be a good time to go ahead and get ready for a possible sighting of, it'd be great if I got a deer or something like that, because I've questioned before about those areas that they look like areas of bedding down, and I figure if we've got any deer or anything like that have been using that so close to the trails for bedding down, then we have a good chance that they'll still be in the area during the day and just foraging. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the old trusty 70 to 200 and have that at the ready, in case I get a chance to do any run and gun type of thing. I like to go ahead and, especially when I'm using the 70 to 200, that I will go ahead and get all my camera settings ready, and then I'll carry this on the camera clip that's on the pack, and this way if I should run across anything, this does give me the reach. And I do also carry a 1.4 teleconverter that kind of gets me out a little further. And hopefully we might get something here. This would be an awesome day to do it. So I've just decided to take a little break right here by the creek. I haven't heard any more wrestling on the other side of the creek over here. It was way back in there. Sometimes if you just take a seat and be at the ready, just listen. It's getting quiet, so I think I'll give this about 10 minutes or so, and see if something will show itself. I mean, even if you're just sitting here doing nothing, you're just sitting here doing nothing. It's great. So as you can see, Muddy Creek comes along here and then goes off into that way, and it pretty much for the whole back part of this loop parallels the trail that we were on before. So here's some crows in the background. I'm just going to sit here for a little bit and see if something becomes interested in what I'm doing, and maybe we'll get some good shots. Only time will tell. I don't know if you can see that coming through, but when you're just sitting here waiting for something, in the distance you can hear the leaves in the tree start rattling and shaking, and it just comes all the way through the forest, and it's nice because I know I'm going to get a nice cool breeze coming through. And yeah, sure enough, as soon as the sound of with all the leaves shaking get to right up to you, then yeah, you get that breeze that comes through. One of the other neat things that you get just sitting around in the forest, watching and waiting for things to happen. You'll notice that along the course of this trail, you'll see every once in a while, sometimes they'll even be out further out, but you'll see these boxes on the sides of some trees. These are boxes that have been set up for a species of duck. It's called the whistling duck. I'll see if I can find some reference pictures that I can post along this video with what they look like. But they'll actually nest in these boxes here, and it kind of gives them a secure area to lay eggs and fledge goslings and ducklings, to be basically out of the reach of predators, as of bobcats, raccoons, and it helps with some of the snakes that we have that also will eat either the chicks or the eggs themselves. So kudos to Alabama Land Management for erecting these throughout the site for the whistling ducks, and it's just another thing. I don't know if this trail has it, but on some other trails you'll even see a box mounted to a tree that's kind of flat, and it has no opening in the front, and that's because the opening is underneath, and that is actually for the various species of bats that we have around that do us a great good in the amount of insects that they take care of. You hear that? I don't know what that call is, and I've been looking for him, but he's right up in there somewhere. Just being patient. Just looking at some possible shots, and I like the perspective of this tree here that comes along the creek here, and basically I'm going to get the boardwalk in here with this tree that is right there on the left side of the creek, and then you've got the trees on the left side that will basically form a border that can draw, and then going to go ahead and get the creek as it goes right around the bend there. With the way that the sun is coming through these branches, I kind of like the way that looks, so I think I'm going to give it a shot. No pun intended. So I have this set up with a base exposure of f11, ISO 100, and I've got a shutter speed of 1/30th of a second using the polarizer, and I've got the polarizer like I said on the creek and not the sky, because I want to basically take away the harsh reflections that are on the water itself. So in the leaves, and also bring out some saturation in the sky. Helicopter flying over, but anyways, it's going to be I'm going to use an ND6, which is going to add 2 stops to the photo, so that'll take it from 1/30th of a second down to 1/10th of a second, and then I will bracket from there and see how it looks. If it looks good, then I'll go ahead and do a bracketed focus of the entire scene, where I will focus, take a shot up close here at the handrail, and then work my way back into the farthest portion of the creek where it does the bend. See how that comes out. So I figured I'd take a little bit of a break and have some lunch. We are at the boardwalk for the Beaver Pond. I've never seen the water this low, and there's just really no activity around here. I did see some smaller fish, you know, they maybe about that big. They could be small bass, they could be brim. It's kind of hard. The water is a little murky, but that's the only wildlife I've seen around here. Even the birds have quieted down. So yeah, I decided I'd take a little break and have some lunch and just relax here, and then it'll be the leg back to the parking lot. Yes, one big soup. This is all bog underneath this boardwalk. It's a pretty wide area. Never seen it really flood. Just always stays soup. All right, well, back at the start of the loop. Now we're on our way back to the trailhead. So this completes another successful hike of Muddy Creek. And we did it this time without getting wet. Though we was not lucky with any bird shots or any other wildlife. At one point, I was on one of the boardwalks, and it was back when I heard a lot of the crows, and I was listening, and then I heard the very distinct call of a turkey. You know, the old gobble gobble, but couldn't tell if it was a hen or you know, male or female, but it was definitely very distinct. And I waited and I waited, hoping that, hey, maybe I'd get some shots of a turkey, but nope. They were on the other side of Muddy Creek, and I don't know what was going on, but the crows pretty much stayed right in that area. So I don't know, maybe they had chicks, or I'm not sure exactly what crows like to eat, but so that was interesting. And as the sun is starting to come down, like I said, another great walk, beautiful day. So anyways, I took a few shots here and there, nothing that I was absolutely crazy about, but
Again, just to enjoy the walk. And today was a good day to do it because tomorrow is supposed to be a little colder from the get-go. So glad I picked today to come out and do it. Finishing off with still clear skies, not a raindrop in sight. The temperature has stayed very nice at, I bet it didn't break even 70. So anyways, so conclusion of Muddy Creek, and on to the next one.